Welcome to the Smarter Money Life podcast hosted by Andy Mattingly. Frequent guest on local TV news, regular segment on Indy Now TV, and a leader here at Forum Credit Union. Forum's mission is to help members lead their financial dreams, and in today's podcast, we're going to cover a topic that will help you improve your financial life. It's spring, and that means it's time to do a little cleaning. And I don't mean the baseboards, I mean about your finances. Hello again, this is Andy Mattingly, and in today's Smarter Money Life podcast, we're going to talk about why spring is the time to make some important financial moves and kind of clean up your financial situation. Now, the reason why this is a good time is because you're probably working on your taxes, or you should be working on your taxes because they're going to be due in less than 3 weeks. So you're going to have a lot of the information right in front of you so you can make these moves. And most of these things that you can do or these tasks are 30 minutes or less. And I don't know about you, but any cleaning task that's 30 minutes or less, I'm really going to jump on. So I have 5 areas for you to talk about with this. And we're going to start with the first one, which is financial institutions. And they're pretty quick and easy to do. One, you may look and see that you have a lot of checking and savings accounts at other institutions. And you may be asking yourself, well, why do I have these? If you don't have a good answer why you have them, then you should consolidate them. You also might want to look at streamlining your statements. If you're still getting statements in the mail, but you're also getting some online, make sure you move them all to online. It'll be easier to handle that. You probably aren't looking at them anyway, so why have them come to you in the mail? And then finally, look at all of your credit card and bank statements to see if you're getting any charges that you're not aware of. And that could be charges from the institution or charges going against your account that you forgot that you signed up for, and get that cleaned up. Now, that might take a little bit more than 30 minutes if you have to clean up a charge that you didn't know you were being charged, but you can still do it. The second area is kind of in your credit and debt that you have. Obtain a credit report. See what's out there. Probably somewhere in one of your accounts, you can look on your app and get your credit score. So if your credit score is not where you want it to be, and you want it to be as close to 800 as possible, you can look at your credit report, see why the reasons are you're not there, and start making moves and building a plan so you can get to the credit score that you want to have. Another piece of this is to look at any debt that you have and see if there's an opportunity to refinance that so that you can get a lower rate, or maybe you want to do something so you can have a better payment. So this is a great time to look at all of those things. Call a couple of financial institutions and see if they can help you. The third area is estate planning. Now, don't tune me out because I said estate planning because you think that I'm under 30 and I don't have an estate. As soon as you start working out on your own and you're not living with your parents anymore, you do have an estate and you should do some estate planning. You should create a will, and it's pretty easy to do. And if you already have kids, then you need to make sure that you've set up a trust so that if something happens to both you and your significant other, they're protected. Now, you want to make sure that you have financial powers of attorneys just in case you're incapacitated and someone needs to take care of that for you. And you also want to update your healthcare directive so that people know what decisions you want made about your health if you can't do anything. And then finally, you need to make sure if your insurance coverage is still adequate for your situation. Now, here's another little piece with estate planning that you need to make sure that you do. If you've had insurance at work and you didn't have a significant other then, and now you do, you need to update those beneficiaries because you probably made it your mom or your dad or both, and now you may have someone else you wanted to go to, and if you don't change it, it's going to go to them, not to the person that you intend for it to do. Now, our fourth area is your retirement and your investments. So if you're in your 30s, you may have had 3 jobs now, and hopefully you've been contributing to your 401k at all of those jobs. If you've left those funds there, you're paying at each one of those places for your 401k to be managed. So it's a good idea to figure out if you can consolidate all those either with your current employer or somewhere else so you can get rid of some of those charges and just pay one fee for that. Again, this is a place to update your beneficiaries. The second thing to do is to make sure that your investment choices are matching your current financial situation. Maybe when you were 22, you wanted to have a lot of risk and you were really looking at growth, but you might be 32 now and say, I want to dial that back. So you should look at that and then also look at your portfolio balances and make sure that your portfolio matches your investment choices. All of these things are pretty easy to do with the online apps and you can get it all done. And this is really something you can do in 30 minutes or less. Now, the last area, this one may take a little bit more time because we're going to talk about cash flow, planning, and budgets. And don't be scared off because I said budgets. We're going to talk about what kind of budget I'm actually talking about. But if you have some things where you want to get get more cash flow, look at areas where you might be able to save some money. So if you have renter's insurance or you have homeowner's insurance, make sure you're getting quotes and don't just automatically accept any increases that come when your policy renews, because you might be able to find ways to save some money. Maybe it's changing your coverages, maybe it's changing your deductible. You also should look at your long-term goals and make sure you're prioritizing what's important, because when you were 22, your goals may have changed by the time that you're 32 or 42 or whatever. So make sure you're looking at those goals and reprioritizing those so that they match where you want to be. And then finally, look back at 3 months of what you're spending. And this is where we're getting into the budget piece. And just see where all of your money is going. And then if you're happy with it, then you don't need to do anything. If you're not, just look at the area where you're overspending and set a budget for that area for the next 3 months and see if you can make it work. So it's not a real budget. You don't have to track everything that you do unless that's something that you want to do. Then, hey, this is a great time to set that up and start tracking it. If you do these 5 things with spring cleaning, it may take you longer than the spring to get it done, but in all reality, before we get to the summer solstice, you should have all of these things done and your financial life will be a lot better. So don't put it off. Spring cleaning your financial life is a great opportunity to improve it and you'll reap benefits. And remember, if you clean now, next year you'll have less to do. This has been another episode of the Smarter Money Life podcast powered by Forum Credit Union. Please leave your thoughts in the comments and be sure to look for our next episode wherever you get your podcast. Remember, now is a great time to make a difference in your financial life. Until next time.